Hi. So I'm getting this video done that's been on my mind for a really long time. So in 2012, I used to do these meditations. I used to do 21-day meditations, and then I would do distance healings at night for 21 days. And then information would come through those that I would give to the people participating in the 21-day meditation. And there would always be an intention, and you'd meditate twice a day. And they stopped because of December 14th, 2012. I did them every 3 months. But during one of them, there was a person that had passed that kept walking around. He was in my kitchen and I could feel what he looked like, black hair and all this. So I posed to the group, the meditation group. There was 41 or 43 people doing it. And that's when I did it all through email. I didn't use Facebook. It was through email, and it was a lot of work that I did. So I said, who belongs to this man? And I described him, who's passed, you know. Nobody said anything. And then within a few days, I took my son and my daughter, who was a baby at the time, so it was in 2012, to visit this girl that had babysat for me, for my son, like years ago. But I'm still friends with her, and we went to visit, and we were talking outside, and she was telling me about her boyfriend, and I said, "Oh, do your parents like him?" She says, "Well, my mom does, but my dad, I don't think I told you, my dad died." And then I was like, oh, this is who it is. So I started describing him, this, yes. And I told her, I said, he's been milling around in my kitchen for the last few days. And she says, "Oh, do you want to see a picture of him?" I said, "Sure." So we go in the house, and she shows me this picture of her Italian father, and he's much heavier than the picture. And so he has access to my mind, and I'm looking at the picture. I'm like, "Oh," and she's like, "Is that what you thought?" I said, "Yeah, pretty much." And he says to me, "I didn't show you exactly what I look like because I didn't want you to describe me to my daughter as fat." So he was so funny and so cool. And so he had 3 daughters, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the girl who babysat for me, I never met her sisters, but I have a feeling she was kind of in the middle. And she said, I was really close to my dad. Everyone used to call me his son. And he said, "No, I had 3 daughters. I never needed a son. I loved my daughters just as they were. And my daughters were my beautiful daughters." And it was a joke while he was in life, but now that he was in spirit, he was still funny, but he had the seriousness of his essence came from just such a love, such a pure, raw, powerful love. So when he was saying, "I never needed sons, I never needed any sons," it wasn't like setting anyone straight type of thing. It was just like, I adored my daughters, and they were perfect exactly as they were, and I never wished that I had anything different than I ended up having. It was a cool thing, and I wish I could relay what I get to feel. I wish I could relay it so much better. So then, and then he told me, so I was giving her this information. I want to say right now, this guy loves that he's able to tell me stuff. He loved that he was able to talk to his family after he's passed. And then he, later on that night, when I went to give all the information to my meditation group, he came up to me, he came up behind me, he says, "Why don't you tell them this and this and this? Because I think it really helps people who are still alive to understand how to handle people after they've died, how to handle that situation." So he loves being able to help from spirit. He loves it. And he loves that I'm doing this video right now and giving this information, because he loves to. There's so much love in like in human beings, and even after they pass. So I mean, just so cool. I don't know if you've been emotional lately, but so I've done a lot of crying, which is great. You know, I've been grounding a lot of the energy that I took off of people so that we can all move forward on Sunday night. But back to this Italian guy. So he told me that I don't want to say her name, but one of the sisters kept visiting his gravesite and bringing flowers. She had turned it into this day I bring flowers to the cemetery. And so he said, please tell her to stop going to the cemetery. He says, I'm not there. I'm in the house too. I'm wherever. You're not going to find me at the cemetery. He said, yes, I do go. I go there. It was like he was visiting the cemetery while she was visiting his gravesite, so that he could be with her and comfort her about his loss. But he just really wanted it to be clear, like, I don't want her to go there because she's not enjoying going there. And then he's showing me now, there was a military wife whose husband is buried somewhere, and she took a blanket, and I see it in my mind. She took a blanket, and I think they had a baby. I think she had her blanket and her baby, and they went to the cemetery where the father of the baby and her husband is buried, and they sort of had a picnic. And he's showing me that's a different thing. That is not so. But this daughter was making it a regular thing. She was turning it into a habit, a practice, a behavior that she keeps feeding. And then what happens is it gets to be kind of mindless. And then what ends up happening is, if she doesn't go, it would become a source of guilt. So at this stage of the game, they were still young. She wasn't married. She was still living at home. She wasn't married. But if she did get married, this visiting my dad's grave every Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, after church with flowers, it wasn't an enjoyable thing. She wasn't going to. It started off, you know, pretty good, but then it turned into this like mindless act where a belief, and then a belief system, and that she has to show dad how much she loves him and misses him. And so she was going through this motion to show her dad how much she loved and missed him. And he's like, I got it. Now stop going. Just stop. Like, I don't need you to keep going. Tell her to stop going. Because it had turned into something kind of not loving. Sort of like there was a darkness to it. The behavior was starting to own her. It was starting to started to become this obligatory thing. So when she woke up in the morning on that day, she didn't look forward to it so much. She had to get that done. She had to do that, but she wanted to be there to show him. And he's like, stop, I got it. And other dead people have said, you know, live for the living. You got to live for the living. So this is kind of where he was coming from. But he said, please tell her to stop going, because it's really, she's just setting herself up to be controlled by this habit that she took on with a positive intention, and now it's turning into something kind of like it's going to work against her. If it's not now, it will. And it already is, because she writes it in on a calendar and she plans for it and all that. Okay, so that was for one. And then, so then they live on the water. So we went to the beach, and he told me what to do. He said, hold a rock. So I held a rock in my palm. And so I'm going to just say what he said now. It's much easier than going back and forth between first, second, and third person. So I'm holding this rock in the water, and I put it down in the water so that the movement of the water wasn't really waves so much as like a lapping. The waves could go over the rock. He says, hold the memory of me like Carla's holding this rock. Not gripping the memory of me, not gripping it, but holding it open. Trust that the weight of the rock is going to keep it, you can trust the weight of the rock is going to keep it in place, and that the water is not going to push it off the hand. The memory of me in your heart makes enough of an imprint, and it's weighted enough that you don't have to worry about forgetting me or making me feel forgotten. Hold the memory of me gently and delicately, just like this rock in the hand. And let your life wash over the memory of me, just like the water washes over the rock. There's no need to grip. Keep living your life. Let your life wash over, and hold the memory of me in your heart, just nicely. So it's like, just trust that it's going to stay, whatever needs to be stayed, and it'll change over time. If long enough, the water's going to shift the edges of the rock. It's going to smooth it. You're going to get used to it. You're going to get used to me as a memory in your heart rather than, in physical life. Okay. And then he said about planning your life should be like an Italian dinner. He says, we invite who we invite to our table, so we know they're coming. The family, the friends, whoever's coming to dinner, they're coming. And we know what we're going to have. We know what we're going to make. We're going to have the pasta, we're going to have salad, we're going to have bread, we're going to have wine, and maybe some kind of, an antipasta, or like some kind of something else that I don't remember, but I knew at the time. He says, so we have all these things on the table. We have all the things on the table. These things that are meant to be enjoyed. And we have all the people at our table. And now we show up to the meal. And we don't know exactly how many pieces of bread we're going to have, or how many glasses of wine. Oh, cheese, that was what I missed. It was a block of like this beautiful, I don't know if it's Parmesan, but there's a block of this beautiful cheese. But it was a standalone thing. It wasn't like sprinkled cheese that you'd put on your pasta. It was like, he saw it as a standalone item on the table. He says, so we come to the table. We come to the table like we come to our life. We have a basic plan. We invite the people to our table. We have the pieces of the meal all there. But we don't plan on how many pieces of bread, how many glasses of wine, how many pieces of cheese, how many bowls or scoops of pasta. We have the elements that we want to enjoy on the table, and we have the people around the table that we want to enjoy our life with. He says, and I show up to this table. I didn't invite these people. My wife invited them. I wanted them. She invited them. I sit down at the table. I'm so thankful to my wife. I'm so proud to my wife that she made all these beautiful things. She made all this bread, and she made all this. She invited the family. I trust that she does this. And then I show up at the table, and I'm so proud to be, at this table with these people. And I'm so proud that my wife has put this beautiful meal and with this beautiful family. And he says, and, I enjoy the food and the wine and the company. He says, and if the bread is getting a little low, I don't eat bread. I have a piece of cheese instead. If the cheese is getting low, if everybody likes the cheese, maybe I'll have bread. If the pasta's getting low, then I'll just have, something else. Or if there's less wine, if everybody else is drinking the wine, I'll drink water. So he's accommodating his guests. He doesn't care what he eats or drinks. It doesn't matter. He shifts here and there. If everybody's eating the cheese, I'll eat the bread. If everybody's eating the bread, I'll have some more pasta. If everybody's eating the pasta, I'll have a piece of cheese, or I'll have another glass of wine. If the wine is running low, so you make a basic plan for your life, but you hold it gently, again, like the rock. You hold the plan gently, but you let your life wash over it very lightly. And you just say, moment to moment, like, how do I enjoy this more? There's no fighting. There's no fighting over the pasta or the cheese, or, it's just, you enjoy these things and these people, and you just change, and you just slightly change. And you kind of go with the flow, is more like it. It was very cool. And then he showed me, this is what he came that night and asked me to relay to the people in the meditation. So he showed me, so he said, so then I talked to his wife. And I said, you on weekends, you talk to him, you pretend that he's right behind you. Up in your room, or up in, she had like a bedroom and like a closet, and he'd never been upstairs because he was, bedridden the last part of his life. So he was never up the stairs, so he never saw this. But after he passed, he was up there, and he would walk behind her. And he says to her, so through me, I said, you get up on a weekend and you walk around in front of him. I said, you walk and you imagine him behind you, and you say, and today we're going to so-and-so's, and this person's going to be there, and this person, and this person, and this person, and after that we're going to go to this person's house for a meal, or today is so-and-so's christening, and now we're going to go here, and we're going to do that, and this person's coming, this person. So she walks around, and she gets her clothes for the day, and she picks out her stuff, and she straightens and tidies, and she talks to him, and she pretends he's still alive. Not really, though. She talks to him. Anyway, what he wanted her to know is, well, the way you're doing that is very healthy, and I love it, and I enjoy it. And even though I'm walking behind you and I'm listening and I'm saying yes, 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 even though I'm walking behind you, I know that I'm past. I know that I'm not alive any longer, but I enjoy this time. I enjoy this. For as long as she wants to do this, I enjoy pretending along with her that I'm right behind her. And I enjoy pretending that I'm still alive. And that's what he said. I think you should tell your meditation people that, because I think that they would really like to know that. She was happy to hear that. But then he said, too, he says, look, if there comes a day and you meet someone who you can, so he didn't speak English, so it's all telepathic, but there's a word in Italian that I don't have in English to relay it. But if there comes a day when you meet someone that you can have, it was just this, like a coming together, cuddling, peacefulness and ease and companionship and camaraderie, and there's no real word. So if you're Italian and you want to put the word down on the bottom of this, that would be cool. But if you find someone, if you happen to meet someone that you can have this with, please, I implore you to go and be in that. I want that for you. I want that for you. Until that day comes, I'm happy to keep playing in this reality and playing and in life. One's in life, one's in death, but it's still all life and matters. We're still here for each other. I'm still here for you. You're still here with me. We're still living. You're living in a physical body. I'm living in a spiritual existence, but we have this beautiful merging. We get to have this nice experience that we're enjoying now, but if it changes, if you find someone else that you can be with, that's what I want. And I'm happy to just allow this, what's fun for us now, allow this to end, to fall by the wayside, to shift, to change. Just a really cool guy. Like, okay. So, and then, And then there was another Italian guy that his daughter came for a healing. And so his daughter came for a healing, and he came to talk to her through me, and she was saying, Mom's crazy. How did you do it all those years? How did you do it? How did you deal with Mom? She was so crazy. And he says, yes, your mother was crazy. And I did not expect that. He says, yes, your mother was crazy, but your mother gave me 4 beautiful children. And he says, you know, your mom did her job as a wife, as a mother, you know, and she appreciated what they had a good working relationship as far as he does this, I do this, and he could count on her. He could count on her to do everything. You know, this is an old relationship, obviously, but you know, maybe the 50s or 60s, I would say. 60s. They had a family in the 60s, I would say. I don't know. Anyway, so he loved his wife. Crazy or not crazy. He loved his wife. He loved that she gave him 4 kids. He adored his kids beyond anything. You know, the feeling was just like such amazing pride and love. He said, yes, your mother was crazy, but your mother, I loved her. She was my wife. She did everything that she did. I could count on her, because I could count on her to get these things done and to have everything ready. And she appreciated me and everything I brought to the table. She was a little mean, you know, she was a little mean to him, but snipey. He says, that's okay. That was what it was. And he had nothing against that. He said, that was okay, because I could trust her. She could trust me. We could trust each other. We each did our part, and we valued the other for the contribution to the family. It was all about the family, and there was a lot of love there anyway. And yes, she was crazy, but he says, you know, I show up to the dinner table, because at the dinner table, he was at the head of the table. And he had to face her. He was face to face with her craziness. It was really the only time when he had to face off to her was dinner. And so he show up at the table and had to face her, and there was a little bit of but the kids were on the 2 sides. So there's 2 kids on each side, and he just loved and respected and valued his wife. But it was so easy to love the kids. So he'd show up at the table, and he showed up with love and appreciation for what she provided. And the whole scene, he loved being a father. He loved having a family. He loved having this wife that he could count on, and she was a good woman in his mind. You know, she just 100% he could trust her. And then he said, you know, dinner was this, and I adored my kids, and I couldn't wait to hear what my kids' day was like. I couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to have a meal and find out all the kids, tell me your adventures. Tell me your adventures. What did you do? What happened? Oh, what happened today? What did you do today? Because his work, you know, was very monotonous, and he went and he did the same thing. So he couldn't wait to get to dinner table. He couldn't wait to hear my 4 children, what did they do today? And they were funny. He made me feel like they all were really funny. So then he said, you know, so then this was the important part. So he would leave the table, and then she would clean up, and so then she'd get really nasty, the mom. And she'd clean up the table, and he would sort of like turn his back on her, but not rude, just like, It was like him and the 4 kids when their mother and his wife was cleaning up the kitchen, they could really relax. They could really be happy and laugh and like that, have a good time. And he said, you know, he turns and he goes, and now he's just facing his 4 kids, and the wife is behind them. And so he's got his arms out, and he's like blocking the wife. He goes, you enjoy what you can enjoy, And he goes, and then you handle the rest. And pointing, we're in the wife's general direction, and she was like, it felt like she was kind of throwing a tantrum kind of in the kitchen. Mad about stuff. I think she kept a lot of it down. But so then he goes, you enjoy what you can enjoy, and it's just all this love and so much camaraderie and fun with the children. You enjoy what you can enjoy, and you handle the rest. And he kept saying it over and over. You enjoy what you can enjoy. He says, and this is life. This is what life is. You enjoy what you can enjoy, and then you handle the rest. You just enjoy what you can enjoy, and you handle the rest. So I love that, because I think about when I'm late. If I'm with the kids and I'm late to go to the bus or whatever, I enjoy what I can enjoy. I'm in the car with my kids, we're late. If I have to drive them, I have to drive them, or this happens or that happens. But enjoy what I can enjoy is, I can enjoy that I'm in the car with the kids or whatever. I can enjoy that I'm with my little girl and my little boy, who are getting older by the day, and they're still little now. My daughter's little face is like this big. Ah, love it. And so I can enjoy that face even when she's being a snot, because that little face is changing all the time. So I enjoy what I can enjoy, and then I handle the rest. If she's being a snot or she's in a tantrum, whatever, I still enjoy the little fingers, the little shoes, or what she's got. I listen to her play. I enjoy what I can enjoy, and then I handle the rest. And then the other Italian guy with, life. Your life is like an Italian meal. You have a basic plan. But in order to have the most fun and enjoy yourself as much as possible, so remember, joy is a 540 vibration. That is, that's also very healing. So the more you enjoy your life, the more you heal yourself. So you enjoy what you can enjoy, and then you handle the rest. And when you enjoy your life, enjoy what you can enjoy, and then you just handle the rest. So have a basic plan of what you're going to do to enjoy your life, and then you handle the rest. And I'll tell you, I think those might have been the only two Italian people that I ever channeled. But they were both men, and they both had a very high level of significance for the family, for the meal. Like the meal, I was amazed by how much they got out of a dinner, how much they got out of a family meal. Man, it was really eye-opening. It was really cool. So I hope you liked that. Love you. Thank you.